as Gary Gensler gets grilled, Bitcoin's hash rate gets killed. Let's dig into today's articles. Yo! Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family, what's going on out there? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody? So, let's just go ahead and just dive right. Yo, what up, State? How is the mining going? Man, in some aspects, horrible. In other aspects, not so bad. It's all about perspective at that point. Mining facilities, power rate dropped a little bit, and then should be at the end of this month, it should drop down the rest of the way, and then I will be doing amazing. I will be a very, 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 very fucking happy camper after that point. So we'll be able to move forward with some things, and yeah. So I mean, I'm taking them as they come. So the facility's doing good. I mean, it's still running. But it's like, it's like just like anything else. It's not, nobody's really profitable right now. As soon as my facility power rate drops to the industrial power rate, I'll be good to go. I will not be one of these mining facilities that perish once I get to the point of the industrial rates getting kicked in. Oh yeah, for sure. I did the same thing. I mean, I mined all the way through 2018. Fucking paid off great. Yeah, the difficulty is the stickler behind it all, for sure, for sure. For me, it's just getting the power rate where I need it to be. Once I get onto industrial power rate, I have no issues after that. My only issues is I don't have enough infrastructure in the facility to bring on as much as I can fucking possibly bring on. I've got to now start, once I get into the profitability zone, I have to start saving up so that I can grab the transformers and stuff like that, more power, like 200 amp service panels and shit like that. Yeah. My L3s and E3s are gathering dust. Yeah. I'm at the facility. I don't care how unprofitable it is right now. It has to run. I have to get my load average up so that I can get my load average up high enough to fulfill the contract. Once I fulfill the contract, I get put onto the industrial rate tier, and then, yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's such a pain in the ass. It's just like this has been a few years coming to get to the point that I'm at right now. It just sucks that I'm doing this during a bear market instead of a bull market. If I was doing this during the bull market, I would have no fucking problems right now. But no, I'm doing this during a bear market, where my money, my funds are about as tight as everybody else. Got a solo mine, and even when you're solo mining, you're still taking the difficulty hit. As much as I want, it's like I've got to make sure that they're, for the facility wise, I'm not big enough to solo mine. I mean, I'm pretty big, but not that big. I'm getting to the point where I might be able to humor the thought. I have on other things, and I have my solo mine successfully, where it was perfectly profitable during those few weeks, and like if I catch a difficulty drop at the right time, I can pop my stuff on there, my whole farm on there for a week or two, and solo mine the hell out of everything and be doing good. Usually, I get about a week of solo mining that I can be very, very profitable during that 1 week of solo mining. After that, it's like hit and miss. So I usually, if I don't hit a block every week, I stop my solo mining. It's not worth running the risk of that in the long run. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive into today's articles. Yo. All right, here. So, like at the minute, I have to make gains in the leverage trading, even if it's $20 or whatever a day. It's like, respecto. For sure, State. I mean, it's like everybody's got to take their own calculated risks. I'm just looking at I'm looking at my risk tolerance in a different direction. So I'm looking at it from the perspective that I want to set up a facility that even you'd be able to send us your gear, and we can run it at for you and give you better electric rate possibly than what you're already getting. I mean, 8.5 cents per kilowatt hour, give or take, all effective. Not adding line fees, not adding tax, effective. Between 8 and 9 cents a kilowatt hour is what you would be on the hook for. I don't know too many people who get exactly that, because even where I'm at right now, I get my kilowatt hours pretty cheap, but whenever you sit there and you add in all the line fees and all that good stuff, I'm sitting at about just around 11 cents a kilowatt hour once you get the fees and the taxes and all that crap up on there. So a lot of people don't add in that aspect too. I mean, I'm sure you're thinking of that. I mean, I'm sure of it. But it's like we might be able to offer you a better way of mining. If good afternoon, it's like I need free electricity again. Don't we all? Don't we fucking all, man? That would be the shit. I would love to run my farm on free electricity. I'd be like getting up in the morning, all super happy. It'd be like, I don't care where the fucking market is, I'm profitable all the time. But you want to know what isn't profitable for NVIDIA? The 2060 and the GTX 1660. They are no longer going to be producing these bad boys. So they're going to be basically discontinuing the 1660 and the 1660 Super and the 2060 and the 2060 Super. And then they're going to be leaving a few of them up. It looks like at present the 1650 and the 1630 GPUs is still on sale. They're not saying anything about the 1660 Ti. I don't know if that one got scratched too. That was pretty much that was on par with being a 1070 Ti, or just a little better. Nice. You got a 2070 Super in the laptop. You got the 27 Super M edition, which would be the mobile variant. I know. Oh no, bro! I forgot you had money in there with fucking BlockFi, man. I hope you didn't have too much in there. I really hope you didn't have too much in there, man. I feel bad. This contagion is bad fucking news. Really bad news. Oh. Well, Man, that really sucks, dude. I don't even know how it's gonna work out for you. Um, man. I know it is what it is, but holy cow. Uh, because like me and Mikkel came this close on having our company funds tied in with them. If I would have done that, that would have bankrupted me. That's clear and simple. I would have been bankrupted. Yep, no more chasing interest. And you know, it's like, and I hate to say it, you know, it's like as everybody was sitting there and saying, "Man, don't," you know, it's like I'm earning gains and you just have Bitcoin, or you know, I'm earning DeFi stuff. Well, you're, you know, I'm earning you know, through the whole swap network and stuff like that. And I was sitting there going, you cannot get money from nothing. This money has to be created from somewhere. There has to be a value proposition. Unfortunately, with the way that BlockFi went insolvent like a year and a half ago. BlockFi went insolvent, and I never knew who fucking bailed them out. And Grayscale was involved with all of this too. So, and Grayscale Fund is also trading at a low. So there was a lot of lot of players out there that went insolvent over this last bull market period, and once it went into a bear market, they got caught with their drawers down, and unfortunately, they got their little pecker stuck in a door when it slammed shut on them. And unfortunately, it burned a lot of good people that didn't either know, didn't understand, or didn't think it would happen to these players that you figured were bigger players that were being promoted by bigger entities. This should be a lesson to every person who lost money. Right, and I'm not sitting here going, "Good for you, you lost money." No, I would never be like that. I've lost Bitcoin over the time, right? So, does it hurt when you lose something? Fuck yes, it does. You know, it's like I lost 60 fucking grand on a bad deal. So my heart bleeds out for anybody who loses money, but it's the whole thing of, you know. Regroup and figure out the lesson that needed to be learned from it. The lesson learned here would be, you know, as you said, Golden, no more chasing interest, no more free lunches. We're looking at this as an investment vehicle. Bitcoin is just a way to be able to stop governments from printing your wealth away from you. Everything else is a casino. If the SEC can get their hands on 99.999% of these cryptos that are not Bitcoin, they would be completely banned here in the United States instantly, because they don't pass the fucking mustard on this. This is why a lot of us Bitcoiners we talk shit about these other fucking things, because they are bad news bear. And getting into custodial services, it is no different to me than leaving it on the exchange. And that's just me kind of understanding it from the lens of what many Bitcoiners before me have said. You know, they were like, "Yeah, I used to sit there and trade with all of these coins. I now only touch Bitcoin." Why? You know, that's the simplest question. And you get a good rundown from most of these people that have been OGs in this space going, "I learned my lesson here. I learned my lesson here. I thought things were going to be better here. And now I will never touch any of this stuff anymore because Bitcoin's the only one that I consistently put money into it and it stays there. One Bitcoin will always equal one Bitcoin. It's like, oh yeah, for sure, Les. I mean, it's like people who got caught with the whole Celsius shit. You know, the whole Celsius scam, the whole FTX scam, the whole Elmida scam. People are gonna. This is a hard lesson for this round, and it's gonna usher in fucking regulations, guys. It will. It will. But. It's like you lost money in Luna. Woo! So did a few other people. Lost money in locked wallets. It's how shit goes in this space. Yep. We stay in the space regardless. Yep. Yeah. We like the abuse. I think there was something wrong with us when we were little kids. And for some reason, we like getting our feelings crushed from time to time, and Bitcoin's good for that. I mean, think about how many people bought in at Bitcoin being at $64,000. Bro, they're in mega losses. They are eternal hodlers. Eternal hodlers. But back to this. So they're going to be sitting here. Basically, they're going to be getting rid of the lower tier lineup here. They're probably. I wonder with them keeping on the 1650 and the 1630 GPUs that this will finally replace the GTX 750. You know, the GTX 750 that during the whole fucking GPU shortage, you can count on being able to find that one brand new on Newegg. Yep. A useless fucking GPU that would be basically for display purposes only, not for gaming. There ain't no game that's going to play on a GTX 750. No. So it's like, are they? You know, it's like at some point in time they've the 1060 Ti has got to be like unhooked as being the reigning champion of gamers. I mean, you go on to Steam and you go on to their survey, and the one of the number one GPUs is a 1060 Ti. Crypto is my dirty little secret. Minecraft. Yeah, exactly. That's what a GTX 750 is good for. Minecraft. 100%. 100%. So, but yeah, I mean, it would be nice to see some of these gamers to start stepping up their hardware a little bit from the 1060 Ti platform. So yeah, sorry, got distracted by somebody trying to ask me a question on my phone. Yo, what up? Okay. So it's like I would like to see some of the people who are gaming on older hardware to think about, you know, maybe stepping up into a 1630 or a 1650, or even getting into the 20 series. Not so much that they need to do this, but what that does for gaming development is that the games don't need to sit there and make backwards compatibility so much. And the more current hardware everybody's sitting on, the better utilization of the game engine that will be utilized on that game, because they're not trying to spread the resources to be able to dial it back so far. So if everybody sits there on a little bit of a better hardware at some point in time, I mean, not like, everybody needs to just get off it right now, because that won't happen. It'll be just kind of a thing over time that as people sit there and start upgrading their hardware, you will see the game developers start isolating the game engine down, and you'll see better performances. That's some of the reasons why, like, if you're on a game console at all, whether you are PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo, as the hardware kind of matures, you see that the game developers start better developing the outer limits of that hardware, and you start getting better games. Now that we have consoles that are running essentially they're very broken down PCs in a sense, and they're able to start running a lot of the PC games, but the hardware itself is just not mature enough to be able to compete toe to toe with a actual purpose built computer. Some of that is that they instead of going with Nvidia like they have in the past, they went with the cheaper AMD, but they went with the 5700. The RX 5700. I think non-XT. I think Xbox is doing a cut down XT variation. PlayStation is doing like a regular 5700 to, it's like the performance is between a 5600 and a 5700 on the PlayStation, which really kind of hurts the overall gaming performance. It was good for the consumer because it kept down the prices on it, but as they come out with newer hardware that's using the better GPUs, hopefully that will also help get game developers to sit there and start making the game engines more specific to the current hardware, which would utilize the game engine in a much more effective and efficient way. F to the A, yeah, you know it. And if you guys haven't caught this one, in Europe, the Gainward Phantom 4080 GPU is now for the first time €20 below MSRP. Man, I remember a time where MSRP was just a suggestion that nobody ever wanted to sell a product near MSRP. That was like an embarrassment if you sold a product near or at MSRP. You wanted to be, here's MSRP, here you are selling it. See, I have a value. Because if you were to buy it off of the vendor, off of the manufacturer directly, the manufacturer would sell it to you at MSRP, is what the argument always was. Now it's like, why should I buy it off of you if the creator is sitting here and selling it for X? I might as well just buy it from them, and at least I'll cut you out of the whole deal out of this, and let that manufacturer just keep the money if I needed to go down that route. At least now we're starting to see that that people saw the 4090 as having value up until probably the point of fires. Now that people understand that it's because the connector sucks and it's hard to plug in all the way, and that you've got to make sure and triple make sure that connector is plugged in all the way. All right, cool. Now 4080 comes out. There's no value proposition because it's being sold at the price of a 4090. Why would I want to pay for a 4080 at the MSRP price of a 4090? I'll just go buy a Founders Edition 4090 and cut the chase on the 4080s. If you go over to the stores now, you can find 4080s sitting on the shelf because nobody fucking wants them. And I hope this is like something that every one of you guys sit there and are also doing. Do not buy the fucking 4080. Make them drop the fucking price down to that $900 to $1,000 marker where a 4080 is supposed to be being sold at. Maybe $1,100 to $1,200 on the baller editions, right? I mean, you're talking top end editions being sold at $1,200, no more. Everybody else, is going to be sitting at between that $900 to $1,000 range. That's where the value comes in for a 4080. But then they would have to drop the price of that 4070 down to what, $550-ish, where that's supposed to be at, which would put a 4060 down to that, $250, $300 range. Damn. If people vote with their dollars, this is the message that this is the response that you'll get. For the first time since the whole the scamdemic started, we're now finally seeing a product below MSRP. But it's only in Europe, guys, not here, because, us bloody Americans are stupid. And we will buy whatever they tell us to buy, right? But if I go to the store, I do see a lot of 4080s sitting on the shelf. So congratulations, everybody. Stop buying their fucking shit. NVIDIA needs to be taught a lesson that price gouging is not how you take care of customers. That's how you take care of your stock shareholders at the cost of having sales. So now we can take them off their high horse. We do have purchasing power if we all collectively sit there and give them the middle finger at the same time. Yo! I play Warzone every once in a blue moon. Not my go-to. I prefer my my sim racing. So a lot of Dirt 4 or Dirt Series period, and Assetto Corsa Competizione or Assetto Corsa. I love racing. R Factor 2, that one's a good one. There's a lot of good racing games out there. I'm a race car driver myself, so I mean, go figure, right? But I do get into some, like God of War. Gotta have God of War. Just gotta have it. A little bit of Fallout, but Warzone is not my like. That is a game. That Warzone is definitely one of those games that you want to dedicate a little bit of time to get yourself not only orientated to the maps and how the gameplay runs, but getting used to going after weapons, picking up weapons, equipping yourself, and then being the number one thing. Whenever I was kind of getting into it a little bit more, scope knocking. And if anybody doesn't know what that is where I see something moving, right? And I line up my scope onto it real quick, and then I just drop. As I'm dropping down, I just pull the trigger, and I keep walking. Yeah, I know. I played it over at my buddy's house. He was on the Xbox. And he was ranting and raving, "Oh, this is the new Warzone. I was like, I'll check it out. A little bit different of a gameplay, that is for sure, on the new 2.0. I'm not sure if it's something I would have to get used to with how the inventory cycles through and equipping like the plate armor. Of course, I've never done it on the Xbox, so I've always done it on PC. So, with that being said, the feel of it was a little different on the Xbox versus on my PC. So, I can't sit there and say that it was bad. It was just different. Moving around, I was like, fucking, once I had my gun pulled, I was good to go, but it was just the inventory side of it that I was kind of like fumbling around on it. It's the stupidest thing to be fumbling on, but so moving right along. Gigabyte also is confirming a 4070 Ti and the Radeon RX 7900 lineup, guys. Yo! I kind of like the look of this. The Gigabyte Aero, kind of like that sleek stainless steel kind of look on there. I dig it. I dig it. I know, like, for, you know, Gigabyte's not one of the best ones for the warranty aspect of it. I get it. But they do occasionally come out with a sleek looking card. This one might be one of them. The Aero looks kind of nice. Have to see what the overall performance of it is when it comes out. I would be more interested on the RX 7900 side of this versus the Gigabyte. I mean, not than the NVIDIA side. So they will have the 7900 XT Aurorus Elite. Then there'll be the 7900 XTX Gaming OC. Then they'll have the gaming one, and then the RTX XTX reference variation, and then they'll have the standard XT gaming OC gaming in reference on that one. And then if you are into if you're looking at this for the 4070, they'll have the Aurorus Master, the Elite, the gaming OC gaming, the Aero OC, Aero Eagle OC, and Eagle. So it looks like if you are wanting to get that Aero edition, it's definitely going to be on the 40 series lineup. It looks like, because there's no Aero reference on the 7900 side of it, but there is on the 4070 Ti. It looks like this one is going to be coming in as like a mid to low tier, which is fine. If you're looking for something like that, unfortunately, I won't be grabbing one of these because, yep, I'm a little bit on the boycott right now of NVIDIA. They need to get their head out of their asses and stop price gouging everybody just because they want to answer to their stock shareholders that they worship more than trying to get a product out to the people and have a game in every gamer's hand. They want to sit there and basically abandon their whole gaming industry for the elite gamers. Oh, if you want to have an NVIDIA, you better be wealthy. Right? It's like, fuck these people. They need to be taken off their high horse. That's just me, guys. That is justice me. But I know what y'all are wondering about. Where's this Bitcoin hash rate? This is like, there's so little like hardware news coming out. It's just NVIDIA price gouging with new hardware, naming that we already know that they were going to do. So now all we get to see is stylings and how much performance that they're going to give us or not give us, depending on if it's a bin chip versus a chip that just barely passes, right? So as of right now, it's almost like the whole tech industry for right now is just kind of fucking boring. Outside of the fact that, you know, NVIDIA thinks that they can just, you know, cook up some shoe leather and we'll buy it as a steak, right? Yeah, it's the Apple abuse, and I think the industry needs to sit there and just give NVIDIA the middle finger, buy AMD for this round at least, and during the next round, if NVIDIA decides to pull their head out of their asses and sell stuff at proper pricing instead of price gouging, and doing artificial scarcity to help drive up prices on people, which is anti-consumer. Yeah, people just need to vote with their dollars and stop buying the shit. They need to be dethroned for a minute. They absolutely need to be dethroned. And we're starting to see that. Even developers are now starting to be developing with AMD GPUs in mind. So that's a good thing. It's a good thing to me. Ah, yes. Let's dig into some of that goodness, guys. Let's dig into some of this. So, as we all know, we know where Bitcoin is, in the fucking toilet, right? We're sitting at $16,288. We've been just kind of trading sideways for a few days now. FTX crash. The FTX market crash happened on like about what, November. Let's see here. I think the news broke on the 7th. Market started tanking on the 8th, and just drove out from there. Now we're sitting here consolidating sideways again. We are sitting here, and all the convergence waves here, the MA ribbon band are all kind of starting to tighten up. With the way this is, the market looks a little still bearish. If it hits the way I think it will, we should, hold on here. We'll be looking at about a 25% pullback, which off of this, 25% from here would give us about a $12,000 Bitcoin. Right on target for where I was originally thinking, guys. Right on target, guys. Could not ask, like, I couldn't have called the FTX thing, but I did semi-call the $12,000 marker. Realistically, that is not far from where we are. And if we sit there and we start gradually just kind of dragging down, it's just going to make the MA ribbon consolidate even harder. And this should give us a better price movement once we've consolidated. You typically don't see a double consolidation in the market without an upward rise. So we're gonna see we're gonna see a double tightening coming up, but because the first one was an artificial creation, we can ignore that data set noise because that should not have been there. We were already tightening up, but the tightening did not finish its course. We had an artificial tightening drop where the MA ribbon kind of relaxed out, and from here we're going to finish out the tightening. I think we're going to be moving downward just a little bit more, and then we should pop up after the first of the year. I think we are going to trend to about that $13,000 to $12,000 range between now and Christmas, guys. So Merry Christmas to you. We are going to have a lower Bitcoin. It's going to be where my price prediction is going to be at this point. We are on target to be hitting it. It's just taking a little bit longer to play out. I was hoping that we were going to trade out sideways all the way up until now, and then we would finish off the fucking tightening and drop price and then rebound back. But because we did not finish out that movement, we are going to be basically on an extension with all of this. And it's just going to take longer, unfortunately. What up? Last piece to the puzzle. Yo. So this price movement, I think a lot, like at 16,000, there's a lot of Bitcoin mining facilities that have just basically tapped out their last bit of Bitcoin here. They are going to be looking at not so much shutting down their facilities. I haven't heard any big facilities shutting down and going bankrupt, but I have been hearing of miners just temporarily turning off their rigs until the beginning of the year. Hash rate is too high to be running a deficit. They've got to be able to make sure that they have a significant war chest to be able to survive a prolonged bear market because of the FTX market manipulation here. It's going to basically extend out the bear market up to an extra month. So instead of rebounding a little bit here, there are people who are thinking that we are going to rebound back up to the $20,000 marker. To me, that would be perfect. If we can do that, let's say, if we stay on an upward trend from here until December, we would be sitting at about a $21,000 Bitcoin, give or take, right? But that would mean that we would have to finish off this consolidation period and start having that rise. We have to have interest coming back. I don't think that's happening. I do not think that's going to be happening here. You can sit there and look at my DCA oscillator. We have printed out another red dot here. That indicates a selling moment. Green dots are for your buying triggers. Reds are for your selling triggers. But we're not seeing it print out a sell target yet, which that's going in line with what I'm thinking is that we haven't finished off the consolidation of the MA ribbons. Once we've done the consolidation phase on there one more time, I think from there, if there's no good news that comes in, we drop and then pop. I think this should be a bear trap at that point, going into a little mini bull run. So hold on to your hats, guys. I think it's going to be getting a little volatile coming up through Christmas. But again, there are facilities that are looking at their war chest going, I have to pay for the property or I have to pay the rent. I would rather be paying the rent or paying the loan obligation on the property, and not that and the electricity when I don't have enough Bitcoin coming in. So with that being said, there are facilities that are scaling down or shutting down temporarily. None of them that I've heard of is having any liquidity issues at all. But you can see this in the charts themselves, guys. So whenever you're looking at this is coinwars.com, the Bitcoin mining hash rate chart. And we were kind of like right in that 275 exahash territory. The hash rate will fluctuate around. You'll see this on your own personal mining rigs too, where you'll see them, boom, 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 boom. They're hitting real hard for a little bit, and then they settle down. The mining is not perfectly at that particular number. So with that being said, you will see a little bit of chop in the network hash rate. But it was sitting there for a couple of months, sitting at about that 275 exahash. Now we have dropped down to that about 250 exahash. So we've done a 25 exahash drop in hash rate here. And again, this is in line with the price of Bitcoin. You should see as the price goes up, the network can handle more miners on there. There is more to go around for more people. Makes it the price of capital, that you're getting out. You want to see a return of some sort. So as the price is pulled back to where it is, there are people who have been mining at 11, 12 cents a kilowatt hour. They're done. They've probably mined as long as they can, and they've dried up. That's what I'm thinking. So anybody I'll go over some of that too here in a moment. And you can sit here and just like Crypto Crag was sitting here and saying, here is the difficulty chart from Coin Wars again. We've been sitting at 36.95T. And it looks like about 7 days, 15 hours, and 8 minutes, to give or take, depending on how quickly blocks are found. But at block height 766,080, the block difficulty will change. So that's another 2,016 blocks. And the difficulty should drop by about 11 to 12% if we are in line with the difficulty, with the amount of miners continuing to drop off. Now, once the difficulty drops here, we should see some of the miners come back on. Not very many. The drop in difficulty will put some that were on the border edge of profitability back into profitability, but only slightly. Yo, what up, Sonia Near? Went over some hardware. We're going over the Bitcoin hash rate now. Yo. That's the quick sheet for it. So yes, we're seeing that the difficulty should be coming down, which means that my Bitcoin miners coming in 7-8 days should be a 10% more profitable minimum. That'll be nice. I will welcome that. I certainly will. But this also is in conjunction, with the difficulty dropping. This is in conjunction of this Bitcoin mining revenue lowest in 2 years, as hash rate on the decline, guys. So this is just basically taking out inefficient miners that had either set up in a bull run where money was of no concern, and now it is. And now they are finding that they did not build their facility to the standard of efficiency. Those who are efficient are those who go on. And that's where my facility is going to be fucking one of them. But I haven't heard of any of them going out of business. I haven't heard of any fire sales on equipment. I have been kind of listening for that stuff, little grumblings of that. And I have not heard of any facilities going belly up, because if any facility goes belly up, I will see a lot of Bitcoin ASICs on the secondhand market. Good for me if I'm looking to be buying more ASICs, or good for you guys if you're looking to be buying more Bitcoin ASICs. But some of that stuff I would kind of hold off on. Or would I? Or would I, right? Bitcoin price prediction. Can Bitcoin rally to 20,000 this week? I'm not sure if I completely get behind this one. This guy Ali B. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can get behind Mr. Ali on this one. There's a lot of doubt thinking of that this is gonna be this is still very, very much bearish. But he's looking at it from a different point of view, which is actually kind of interesting. So he's looking at the Monetary Authority of Singapore, MAS. So the Singapore Central Bank issued a press statement of this week to clarify several misunderstandings and issues that have arisen in the aftermath of the FTX crisis. The MAS has explained why it chose Binance over FTX. So Singapore Central Bank warns not all crypto activities are regulated. This is true. 100% true. According to MAS, neither Binance nor FTX is licensed in Singapore. FTX did not aggressively recruit users in Singapore, where Binance did. The MAS ordered Binance to stop providing payment services to Singaporeans in September of last year. After a few months later, the crypto exchange ceased operations in the city-state. The regulator stated that there was no proof that FTX was directly targeting Singapore consumers. Furthermore, Singapore dollars did not be used to make trades on FTX. So Singapore, they're good to go. But you'll have other people going into their, going in and saying that Singapore's central bank warns against crypto retailers' investor risk significant losses. That's not what they were saying, but that's what CNBC decided to go run. NewsGuard certified, and they're trying to say that they were warning against crypto. Not really. They were just saying that not everything was regulated, and that they would prefer people to be utilizing Binance if you're going to be using anything. But there are some things that are very bullish at the same time in this market. About $1.5 billion of Bizzity Bitcoin has left that Coinbase. 50,000 fucking Bitcoin have been withdrawn from Coinbase. And it was more than 800 million at a time. So we had a fucking huge whale going, fuck you, Coinbase. I'm taking my Bizzity Bitcoin the fuck off of your shit. 50,000 Bitcoin at 800 million at a time. That is fucking amazing. I know, right? Wow. The following day on November 25th, another 50,000 Bitcoin withdrawal occurred worth approximately $825 million. These institutions are taking the advantage of the low prices and stockpiling Bitcoin as on-chain data suggests during the bear market cycle bottom is near. Fun fact, anytime that you move money off of Coinbase, Coinbase lists it as being sold. So if these guys had $1.5 billion, they withdrew 100,000 Bitcoin. 100,000 Bitcoin moved off of Coinbase. 100,000 Bitcoin got listed as being sold through Coinbase. Let that fucking sit in. Let that fucking sink in. This is the third largest Bitcoin withdrawal in Coinbase's history. Let that sink in. This is huge. If you think Bitcoin is dead, you got another thing fucking coming, guys. This show is just getting started, and we are still fucking early. Once there's a point where institutions are fucking fighting over it because they think that the currency that they're evaluated in is garbage, they're going to be looking at Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will become unattainable to the normal person. There are some extravagant numbers of Bitcoin. They're talking if M1 money supply got poured into, and I mean the world's M1 money supply got poured into Bitcoin, we're just talking to dollars. The physical notes, just M1, we would be looking at about a $40 million Bitcoin. Bro. And they're talking if M1 and M2 money gets involved in there, you're looking at about a $65 million Bitcoin. These numbers are a little bit more extravagant than but if you look at the sound numbers behind it, going, okay, if Bitcoin swallows up the monetary system and becomes the only monetary system that the world trusts, because it's the only monetary system that nobody can touch and nobody can manipulate, then yeah, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin that you can't even fucking afford and numbers you can't even count high to. So I mean, we are, I think we are looking at the upward movement here I think that we are trading in on a consolidation period. If we drop down from here, it is going to be for a small amount of time. And at that point in time, we are going to see a I'm not going to say a meteoric rise, but we should see a rise up that will make everybody breathe easy of what's going on with Bitcoin. It just sucks that it does this as I'm paying for shit for the facility, because I'm watching all my fucking crypto go bye-bye. And it's kind of depressing. But I'll get over it. But if you're sitting there and you're looking at buying some ASICs, guys, this is basically what you guys are going to be looking at here. So the Antminer S19 XP Hydro, you'd be losing 11 cents a day at 12 cents a kilowatt hour. There is no Bitcoin miner, no SHA 256 miner that is profitable right now. So we'll sit there and pick on one of them that I have. Let's see here. Let's see here. Micro. Here we go. So here's one that I have, a WhatsMiner M30++, right? At 12 cents a kilowatt hour, it is losing you $3.54 a day. That's assuming that you're selling all the crypto on top of it. You make nothing. Nothing. So, now, wrong way. I'll put it down to 11 cents a kilowatt hour, which is pretty much where I'm at with my house, right? I'd be losing $2.71 a day. A day. I'd be losing almost $1,000 a year on this. Now, if you were 8 cents a kilowatt hour, you'd be losing 21 cents a day at 8 cents a kilowatt hour, which this is commercial rates, guys. Between 6 and 8 cents a kilowatt hour is commercial rates. So, on the high side, you're 8 cents a kilowatt hour. You're losing money. Not too bad, but you're still losing money. I'm going to put you at the 6 cents a kilowatt hour on the commercial side, which would be on your low side. You'd now be making $1.46 a day at 6 cents a kilowatt hour. Now, the guys that don't care about where Bitcoin price is, they're at 3 cents a kilowatt hour. They're making almost $4 a day on this bad boy. So each unit is going to make them basically $1,400 to $1,500. Now, after the difficulty drop here coming up in 7 to 8 days, I'm probably going to be over $1,500 a year on this if I was at that 3 cents a kilowatt hour, which I'm not. I'm just saying. Now, if you were there are a few places in the world that the price of Bitcoin price does not matter at all. This is the unicorn. 1 cent a kilowatt hour. This is the fucking unicorn. If you live in that area, you lucky bastard. You'd be making almost $6 a day if you were at the unicorn price rate of 1 cent a kilowatt hour, all in. So, with that being said, right, you'd be making about $2,243.77 per year per unit, right? For somebody who like myself this doesn't put a huge dent in my bills month to month, right? But for somebody who lives in a third world country that does get 1 cent or a half cent per kilowatt hour, one of these miners could be the difference between eating and not eating. So for somebody like that this miner is amazing. That it provides so much value to them. It's unbelievable. But then they run into the other issue of how the fuck do they afford it? You know, because like if you're trying to buy one of these bad boys, you're at $2,000 to $4,000, give or take. Never mind, they've got a $20,000 here too. But I would say for planet Earth, you're between $2,000 and $4,000, depending on where you are in the world. So, yeah, these miners are amazing and stuff like that. But yeah, you've got to have pretty low. It's an industrial game at the end of the day, right? It is at 100% an industrial game. So you just got to be kind of careful of how you are deploying your hardware where you are, making sure that you have the best electric rates and the most efficient hardware. Otherwise, as some of these miners are already starting to feel it, they're going to be muscled out here. There are more and more people that I'm hearing that I'm done mining. I'm getting out of the game for it. Oh, I'm not done with crypto. It's not crypto's fault. I'm done mining, which is very normal. It's like, yo, answer your phone. No, I don't want to answer my phone. If you couldn't tell, Mikkel tried calling me just a second ago. So I mean that's pretty much where the point of crypto is at this point. We're just waiting for difficulty to. It's like no good for you. No, that's it. No good news for you. The only good news I want to hear is we have the industrial rate. And I will never see that garbage high rate again. That's the only good news right now. That's it. No soup for you. And then, if the whole Alameda thing doesn't just get a little worse, and then a little worse, and then a little worse. It looks like Alameda Research withdrew $204 million ahead of the bankruptcy filing. That shit's fucking illegal to do. You cannot fucking withdraw all the funds out of your fucking account and go, oops, we're broke. These people are gonna, if as long as the Democrats sit there and go, I want nothing to do with this dumpster fire, he's going to prison. Otherwise, they're going to be, the Democrats are going to be sitting there and protecting this guy. And if they go in there and they protect this guy, then it makes you wonder, was SBF with FTX put into its position so that it could usher in the regulation that the Democrats have been desiring to do, have their Chinese control over all markets, like their Chinese overlords that they love? Hard to say. But to see that Alameda withdrew pulled $204 million from 8 different addresses of FTX US in a variety of crypto assets, the majority of them in stable coins, in the final days before the collapse. Tell me you didn't know that there was a collapse coming without telling me that you didn't know that there was a collapse coming. Yeah. I like to call my first witness here called bullshit. It's like, yeah, and you see this a lot of times with scams and frauds. You'll see the biggest players pull their money out in within the week before the collapse. You can say that. So in Athens, Greece, when the central bank collapsed in Greece, the central bank denied people from being able to pull any funds. But before they made it, when they made their announcement at 8 a.m. their time, during the middle of the night, all the wealthiest people pulled their money out of the accounts during the middle of the night when everybody else in the world could not do any banking. The wealthy elites got their money out. And people in Greece, a lot of people died because they went from having money to being broke. And they find out yes, thank you, Mikkel. Yeah, it's ASIC miner value. Let me go like this. Hold on here. And I go like this. I copy. And I pasta. There you go. ASICminervalue.com. That's where I get all my information on ASICs that are profitable, not profitable, what power, how much your power rate affects your profitabilities in ASICs. No problem, Sonia. No problem. And then just to top it all off, after Alameda is basically showing how fraudulent they are with FTX, the rabbit hole, of course, gets deeper as SEC Gary Gensler criticized for the approach to crypto regulations by U.S. lawmakers. Who would have saw that coming? Sam Bankman-Fried is friends with fucking Gary Gensler with his parents, and Gary Gensler's been giving him favorable regulations. Didn't really scrutinize the FTX and the Alameda blending of accounts. That's fraud right there. This is fraud on a whole new level. It's going to make Nadeau scam look like nothing happened. That guy was playing with fucking rookie numbers. This is way worse. And I don't know how, and there's so many different Democratic senators that are trying to talk good about Sam Bankman-Fried because, you know, Sam Bankman-Fried is good friends with them because of his parents, and being part of, you know, the World Economic Forum gives you certain clout. We'll see how much this protection is going to work out for him. He's been under house arrest in $1 million mansion that he's got to sell now. You know, because he was wanting to give all of his money away, but he had a mansion. Yeah. But it's good to see that regulators are going to get fucking crypto regulators are getting questioned by lawmakers. This is going to be bad because it's basically going to put him under a magnifying glass, and every decision that was made for crypto, this could be a bad a step in the wrong direction. And I think this is the aspect that I see a bit of a bear market still coming in for, is if this comes in as if they come down on Gary Gensler and he doesn't lose his job, he's going to overregulate fucking crypto. even though the lawmakers are saying that FTX's collapse was not a failure of crypto, this was a failure of a business model and the failure of regulators catching a Ponzi scheme. So I hope that fucking Gary Gensler fucking gets nailed to the crossover on this one. This is the type of regulators that really makes everybody distrust any kind of centralized regulation, because here it is. He was supposed to be the one person that would find out if, FTX and Alameda were blending their accounts too much for, fraud, and there was no regulations on them. They were left to do their own thing. And they basically tried to do the same thing that the US dollar did with the FTT token and just kind of printed it into oblivion. So, yeah. So this will be interesting. I think this will be another thing that bigger players, before they get back into the market, they're kind of just waiting with how this is going to play out here. If they glance over Gary Gensler for this stuff, and he just kind of goes, "Oh man, I made a mistake," and they just give him a slap on the wrist, and he goes back to work, then that's not so bad. I think that he should be like terminated from his position. If he's sitting here and gave FTX favorable regulation and turned a blind eye to an obvious Ponzi scheme, he should be held accountable. This is exactly what his job is supposed to be. It's to stop this shit that he failed to do. So it was a failure of his job, and I'm not even going to put it up. Oh, it's his people didn't do their job. No. If I'm a boss or I own a company and one of my employees does something wrong, that's not a failure of my employee. Maybe I didn't train him right. Maybe he was having a bad day and everybody didn't listen to him that he was having a bad day and we shouldn't have had him doing something. That's a failure on me. I could turn around for that failure and fire the person if that failure happens repetitively. But that's something that, again, Gary Gensler should be held accountable for. Doesn't matter if his people drop the ball. His people dropping the ball is him dropping the ball, because they're supposed to be an extension of him. So he failed to regulate FTX properly, which was a failure of catching a Ponzi scheme. And when the Ponzi scheme dried up, it collapsed. And because of Gary Gensler and his failure to do his job, a lot of people just got fucking burned. And it's not even just FTX. Our man, fucking Golden Wolf, getting burned from BlockFi now, because they had FTX touched them, or Alameda had touched them. It's a whole lot of fucking bullshit. And it's going to bring in regulation, and I hope it's regulation not on crypto, but on the fucking the exchanges, because they're centralized exchanges anyway. Fuck them. They need to be fucking regulated by the government. So I hope people go to prison over this one. SBF going to prison, Gary Gensler going to prison for this stuff would restore balance in the crypto universe, I think. That's just me. So, with that being said, guys, thank you everybody for being here. We are at that 1 hour marker. Definitely smash that Lizzie like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. Share this out on your favorite social medias. Helps me grow my channel all out to you awesome people out there. Don't forget to drop FA in the Chizity chat, because you all are rated F for fucking awesome. Yo! Oh yeah, never leave coin on any platform ever. Oh yeah. And you guys have a good one. Peace out. And like always, stay savage, of course. If you guys want to have your rigs hosted at the Family Mine LLC, join the Patreon, links down below. Become part of the Pseudo Hasher tiers. It's got a little perk in there that will end when we open up our doors to the public. You want to get in there for it. All the checkmark people here in this room will tell you that the fucking perk's worth it. It almost makes the pseudo hashing tier free. I'm just saying. It's like it's free. Just saying. So with that being said, thank you all for being here, and I'll see you all on the next one. Yo!